I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm planning on starting a nutrition business. It's been years since I've got into the fitness industry. I was in it for about a decade, all in my 20s, from starting as a personal trainer, going all the way to owning my own gym. It was a fantastic experience and something that caused me a lot of mental anguish. It's been 5 years since any of that happened, closing on six. It's crazy how time flies, especially when you have kids and a wife and all this other stuff. But looking at the future, almost will be debt free in the next couple months, 74 days to be exact. And I'm looking at the next step, especially in this period of my life, 35 years old. I'm thinking, hey, what I'm currently doing isn't bringing me any satisfaction, any joy. It is helping me pay off my debt, but that is a quick goal that will be accomplished. That now I'm seeking more meaning. I'm seeking to do something, and this nutrition, this fitness keeps popping up in my life. Doing some deep dive into it, I'm asking myself questions I didn't ask myself the first time around. Specifically, if I were to start this nutrition business, if I were to start another business, because I've started a couple, what would it look like? What are the costs? What are the tools? Who is out there already doing well that I can talk to? What are the coaching programs out there? Putting all these operating expenses, all these perspectives before I make this financial and emotional investment. And this time around, compared to when I started my other businesses, I want to do things right. So I'm going to take you on that journey of creating a nutrition business, creating a fitness business, creating a health business, maybe online, in person again, or a little bit of hybrid. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to take you step by step on the questions I ask, who I'm talking to, what I'm doing to actually do this, and the expenses and cost from where I am now to where it eventually starts. And if you're looking to start your own business, especially in the fitness realm, especially in the nutrition business, looking to get back into fitness, into nutrition, look at this video. It might give you some ideas on the next steps. So, one of the first questions I ask myself when I'm getting back into this space is, how do I do things differently than before? How do I not let emotion ride me into some bad decisions? Because when I bought my gym, it was pure emotion and no rational or reasonable thought. Now, looking at this years later with a bunch of perspective and experience, I know that I want to do this, but I also have duties and obligations because I'm a husband and a father too. So, how do I do this right? I ask myself the questions: what type of fitness, what type of health do I want to do? Do I want to do CrossFit again? Offer that as a service, be a CrossFit coach? Do I want to focus on nutrition? Or do I want to focus on both? That is a very big question I'm asking myself. Like I said, I spent a decade of my life doing CrossFit like things, but as I'm getting a little bit older, my focus is going more towards nutrition, especially because I see my parents get older. I hear them listen to a bunch of misinformation on nutrition, fitness, and supplements. My dad almost fell for a supplement scam. And I know I could help them avoid that. Of course, they need to do fitness, but that nutrition piece can help them prevent chronic disease, stave it off, and live a better life. Now, some other questions I'm asking myself are, what type of certification do I want to do? So, what certs? Now, there are a whole bunch of certs in this space. Some of the two prominent ones that I've heard of are the Precision Nutrition. I'm just going to put the PN1. PN, I think it's PN level 1. Now, Precision Nutrition, they have a level 1 nutrition, very basic, good for a bunch of people out there. I know my wife took it years ago. That's something I'd be considering getting again. Looking at the cost. What is that? I saw it the other day. It's probably going to be anywhere between, let's say, 500. Oh, that is pretty low. Let's go with the red. 500 to, let's say, 1500. Just ballpark. Most nutrition certification programs are that. Funny them even considering that because I was a nutrition majored in nutrition. Now, another certification I'm looking at is METFIX. METFIX is this up and coming new certification program by the actual founder of CrossFit, Greg Glassman. This pretty much, think of the old school CrossFit realms, nutrition focus at CrossFit Health. That's what they were looking at. They've since stopped it because new ownership of CrossFit and a whole bunch of other stuff happened along the way since COVID. But with this METFIX popping up again, it's a interesting time to be in the nutrition field because this is very attractive. And I like the CrossFit methodology. I still do. I still think people should do it, depending on who you are. And the MetFix portion is something that speaks to me now. So that is another question I'm asking myself is what type of certification do I want to do? They're both probably very good. They both have their pros and cons. It's just where do I want to spend my hard-earned cash? The next question I'm asking myself is what type of medium do I want? How am I going to offer my services? Right? Am I going to offer them online, purely online? Am I going to do on site? Maybe have my own facility, maybe work with gyms in the area? Or am I going to do a hybrid approach where, again, it's a combination of online and on site? Now, the online realm and the hybrid approach would be new. Prior to COVID, it was always on site. Going online was something that most nutrition coaches were doing or dabbling into, even CrossFit coaches. But I had my gym before COVID. It was a very different realm in fitness escape out there. So those are the questions I'm asking myself. What would it be? What would I do? Some other questions. What is my price point? What offer am I going to have? That is very important. Price. Because you can charge per hour. You can charge, that is not how you spell per hour. I am sorry about that. Or you can charge per session, depending on how long your sessions are. You could also do a package. Now, most challenges for nutrition come in package. They might be a 60-day or a 90-day challenge at a lower price point. You do per hour. Hourly rates vary. It can be up to 150 per hour. Even per session, you might see, again, anywhere between 75 to 150. It just depends on how I want to structure my business, how many clients I want to take on. I know right now I work a full-time job, won't be able to take on a lot of clients, but at least having an idea of the price point, how I'm going to offer it, what search, it starts building up the expenses that I might incur and what I would need to cover those expenses, right? If I decide to do both, PN level 1 as a Precision Nutrition level 1 and the MetFix, we're looking at potentially $3,000 in cost. If I go all online, I have to talk about the website hosting, what that's going to be. That's what I'm getting into next. Per hour, what does that look like? Well, if I had one client, it's $150 an hour, and went once a month, that's $150. If I had 10 clients, right, that's $1,500. If I had 20, we're looking at the costs now being covered. So those are questions that I'm asking myself. You may want to ask yourself as well as you're getting into this space, as you're thinking about potentially starting your own fitness business. Then it's tools. This is very important. What tools are you going to use? Not like the physical calipers. You might, right? But what are the things that you need to actually run a successful business? And it's not just physical tools, but it's all the other expenses as well. I'm talking about your website. Oh, there you go. What is the cost of that website going to be? I'm talking about the payment processor. How much is the payment processor going to be? Excuse my spelling. I spent years in the fitness industry. Spelling was not needed. What is the mentorship? This is big. Coaching mentorship. Someone who has built a successful business. Can they teach you how to build one too? You can do it alone, but it's like going to the gym alone. You probably won't know what you're doing in the beginning. It's going to take you longer to see results. And if you hire someone from the very beginning, yes, it's going to cost you more, but you're going to see results quicker because you have their guidance of what to do, what to avoid. And they've been to the promised land and they can help you out. So that coaching mentorship, also looking at registration. Are you going to be a solopreneur? Is this going to be an LLC? I always recommend starting your LLC, just protection against your own personal assets. Things happen and you don't want to be on the hook personally for things that happen. That's why you have a business. It's its own entity. And I don't want to go too much into that. I'm not a business lawyer. I don't have a background in that. I just know that every business I started, there was always an LLC. There's always expenses to that. There's many businesses out there that can help you start an LLC. Just be wary of that. First time around, I spent way too much money a business to get my business license. And then I realized I could have done it myself. But you don't know, right? Next, I'm asking myself marketing expenses. This is where a lot of money will be spent. Now, if you have where in this should you spend your money? Obviously, website, payment processor, you need those things in today's day and age. Coaching mentorship, business LLC, Yeah, I'll say business. Now, between coaching and marketing, what do you need? I'm always with coaching mentorship. Get someone who's been there before. They can give you probably the best marketing advice. So you may not need a marketing expense, but having owned my own business, multiple, I know that I'll probably have to allocate money for marketing. I have to hire a marketing company to help me grow, to get leads. If you don't get leads, you don't get money. Business without leads, with new blood funneling in, is going to dry up. Then I'm looking at what some other tools of trade, right? Maybe an in-body machine. Those things are very expensive. It could be up to 20 grand. Maybe find a used one. What other expenses? And then miscellaneous. I can't really think right now of all the expenses that could incur, but again, these are questions I'm asking myself, uh, so I'm prepared. Then, last but not least, again, questions I'm thinking, asking myself, who I should talk to. Who can I talk to? This is, in my experience, very important. If you're looking to start your own business, you obviously there are all these costs that you're be associated with starting a business, but the important part is who can you talk to? You want people who are in the trenches, who are actually offering that type of service, offering nutrition, offering fitness, doing it in the way you're thinking about doing it, because they can give you real life practical experience. Hey, I tried this, didn't work out for me. This really worked out. Try it this way. Those people can be also good networking clients, right? Maybe they work with women, you work with men, maybe they work with older people you don't work with, maybe you work with kids. Reach out to people who are in the trenches so they can give you that perspective, what it's like and how they had it when they were starting. And then those coaching programs, right? Talk to those coaching programs. Most reputable coaching programs won't just say, hey, come on over, we will help you, especially when you're starting out. They're going to tell you the truth. Hey, it's going to cost 10 grand to have us help you, but we're going to help you. Our goal is to not just make that money back, but to double it in 6 months from now. And they're going to give you practical advice, because at the end of the day, when they take on new clients, it's their reputation. They don't want someone who said they suck. No one wants that. You want everyone to speak highly of you. So you want to make sure when you get a new client, they vet them properly, and they're going to vet you. You probably talk to hundreds of thousands of people, depending on which coaching mentorship program you have, who can help you grow a business. And then other friends in the fitness industry, right? You, at this point, if you're considering, like I am, back into fitness, you probably have friends in the fitness world who own gyms, who are doing nutrition. Talk to them, right? Yes, some of them may be coaches, some of them may be business owners, right? Owning the gym. Them and let them know what you're doing, because you never know when you talk to your fitness friends, they might be in need of a nutrition coach. Maybe they help you cover the cost as you provide service for them. Kind of like a tuition payment program we work at, like some of these other major companies. That wouldn't be a bad thing, right? You get to cover, you get to do what you want to do. Yeah, you have to work for them for a little bit, but hey, you scratch their itch, they scratch yours. That way, no one's itchy anymore. So these are questions I'm asking myself. Who can I talk to? What is going to happen in this coaching program I'm going to be offering, this nutrition program I'm going to be offering? What are my expenses? Because this time around, I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to just go into it with emotion. And that's a big thing here. If you're looking to start any sort of business, emotion is going to be high. It's going to be through the roof. But what you want to avoid is letting that cloud your judgment to make financial decisions, because it's going to be those financial decisions that will then override your emotion, because the emotion is going to come down. The high is going to go down. It happens very quick. And then when you're stuck and you're put in this position where you're like, holy moly, what did I do? Then you regret making that choice. I've been there. I've seen my dream turn into a nightmare, and it sucked. I don't want that to happen again. So this time, should I go into this realm, I'm going to do things differently. I don't know if it's going to be successful. I sure hope it's going to be successful. I'm doing this not because I'm just trying it out, have a side hustle. This is going to be the thing that's going to be different within the next, say, 24 to 36 months. It's going to pay for my entire lifestyle and more. But yeah, ask yourself those questions. Ask more, because that's what's going to help you make a better decision. And at the end of the day, no amount of research you do, no amount of questions you'll ask will actually help you make that final decision. That will be all with you, your God, and your vertical alignment. I believe that God's putting this in my heart for a while now. I didn't want to pay attention to it, but it just makes sense as I'm going forward, there's more clarity in my heart. There's more clarity in my vision, in my mind. So hope that helps.